Weddings-ish, 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 with Jove.
This episode is brought to you by Generation Tux, the perfect suit or tuxedo delivered straight to your door. GenerationTux.com. Well, hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to Weddings-ish with Jove, a podcast all about love, joy, and weddings-ish with a special guest each episode. For this episode, I couldn't be more excited to have in studio the talented, kind, handsome, and really just incredible human being, my fiancé, Kyle Torrence. Hey, babe.
Hey, I'm so excited to come to work with you. Who's watching the dogs?
I don't know. Am I paying you for this? Oh, Lord.
I hope so.
I'm so happy you're here.
Thanks. I'm so excited to be here.
I know. People always ask about you and how we met and about your proposal and my proposal, my counter proposal. So I thought, let's just give the people what they want.
Yeah, let's tell the story.
Let's tell the story in our own ways and maybe together.
Yeah.
And
see if we remember it correctly.
Yes, correctly or just differently the same.
Yes.
Well, let's get a little 411 about you. Where were you born and raised?
I'm from Montgomery Village, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I usually stay outside of D.C.
Yep.
Sometimes I just say Bethesda to wrap it up quickly, but Montgomery Village, Maryland.
Gorgeous. And small family, medium family, big family. It's weird because I know all these answers, but I'm pretending like I don't.
This feels like our first date.
Yes.
I have an older brother who's in the military. He's a lieutenant colonel.
Ooh, and he's so nice.
Yeah, he's the best. Jimmy Torrence. The best. And just my mom and my dad, who are amazing, amazing parents.
Penny and Jim.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best. Like, incredible human beings.
Yes.
Like, I love them so much.
If you love Kamala's pick for the vice president, that's basically my dad.
Your dad would make an incredible vice president.
Oh, yeah.
He would love it.
Totally.
He would love it. Okay, so you're from there, and then where'd you go to school?
I went to Watkins Mill High School, and then I went to the Hart School of Music and majored in vocal performance in Connecticut.
She is a singer.
Yes, she is.
The voice is really beautiful for those of you who have not had the opportunity to hear it. Yep. It's gorgeous.
It wakes Jove up in the shower. It's an alarm clock.
You do like to sing everywhere.
Whether he likes it or not.
It's true.
Everything's a song for me.
That is true. And we met the old-fashioned way.
Yes, we met on
Tinder. So, did I message you or did you message me?
I thought that you had messaged me first. In looking back, we had to reopen Tinder. Swiped a little bit. Who's out there now?
And make sure before our first date, double check.
And we found out that I did write first. And I have to say that was the best thing I've ever done.
Oh, thank you, babe. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, starting off sweet.
We'll see where it goes.
So we met on Tinder. It was very early COVID.
Yes.
I had just bought my home on Fire Island. And 2 weeks later, the world went into lockdown. And we started chatting like a month later. So this is like May 2020.
Yes. I was staying in Connecticut with some of my dear friends. And my friend Theodora and I were sitting and watching a show called Normal People, which was amazing. And as we were watching it, I felt like it was a reflection of everything that I did wrong in relationships.
Oh, should we
No, we're not going to go deep into that.
I'd really like to hear that.
These were things I did wrong before I met you. Now I do everything right because of this show.
Okay, one show can change it all.
So as I watched it, I realized that I needed to be more open and tell people how I was feeling.
Yep.
And I think that even when we were talking on Tinder, I told you I was looking for something serious.
Yes. Out of the gate.
Out of the gate. Okay, well, maybe I sounded crazy.
No, I was the same, which is like a rarity. I think people
But I
don't.
wanted to put out there what I was looking for and what I wanted so that I wasn't wasting my time anymore.
Yeah.
Or trying to tell people what they wanted to hear.
Sure.
You know, someone saying, actually, I'm not looking for something that's serious. And all of a sudden I go, yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
I don't care. Cool.
Easy. Yeah, because sometimes in online dating, if you like someone, you become what they want.
Yes.
So they like you back.
And you're just trying to find someone. At some point, I think I stopped caring about what I wanted and I just wanted to not be alone.
Yeah.
So I felt like COVID, I regained my power in COVID and really thought about what I wanted. And then you were the first person that I saw and the first person I talked to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we both swipe right, and then
Yes.
you messaged me and said hello.
Yes.
I forget what. We should really find the message. It was something.
We don't need to open Tinder
sweet
again.
and
It's just an excuse.
I don't
Gotta
think
keep these ones on hold. You got a ring on it.
we're going to get to that. So we both said hello, and then
Yes.
I was on Fire Island, and it was my first summer on Fire Island where I thought I was going to have a hoe phase. I've never had one before. I've always been a serial dater and never did that, but I'm on Fire Island. I have a house. It's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Then COVID struck, and then I was literally all by myself in this home. I
Were
hired.
you singing the song?
No, I was doing a lot of singing, but
When
not.
I was young.
Is that how it starts?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just know
Okay.
the.
I'll show you the song later.
Okay. I definitely did a lot of singing. I remember on my birthday, because I was by myself. I
Oh.
closed on March 14th. My birthday's the 21st. And I sang Deborah Cox, how did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. Anyways, all by myself in my
Yep.
pajamas. Why are we talking about this?
You know? Didn't know that was going to go that far, but I love the image.
Me neither. So I was lonely on Fire
From
Island.
hoe phase to Alone with Deborah Cox.
Literally overnight. The dreams were gone and different dreams emerged. But I was renovating my home. I hired a contractor. Then I fired the contractor. And then I was doing it all by myself and then literally messaging you. It was literally not the way I thought the world was going to go, but it was perfect because I had the time and space to start a relationship.
If you were trying to find help renovating, I was the wrong guy to choose.
That is correct. But when I literally first think I said I love you was when you went to IKEA for me.
Yes.
I don't know if you recall that moment.
I do remember that moment.
So IKEA messed up the order for the kitchen cabinets.
Yes.
And they didn't send everything I needed.
Mm-mm.
And it was COVID and no one was answering their phones. I didn't know if something was opened or closed. And at that time, I was living between Brooklyn and Fire Island, but no one in Brooklyn wanted me to come there from Fire Island. And no one on Fire Island wanted me to go there from Brooklyn.
Yes.
And you were doing the go-between and you went to IKEA.
I did go to IKEA
in
for
the
you,
middle of a
and I
global
got your
pandemic.
order.
And
Yes.
you picked up the missing pieces for the kitchen cabinet.
Was that the first date though? No, that was after.
No, that was after.
That was after.
But
Okay.
our first date is pretty epic. So you were in
Yes.
Connecticut and I was on Fire Island. And for those who don't know, it's like a 2-hour drive?
2.5-hour drive.
2.5-hour drive and a 30-minute ferry.
Yes.
Fire Island is a car-free island.
Yes.
So you take a ferry from the mainland over.
Yes.
And we decided we wanted to meet after
Mhm.
like 2 weeks of chatting.
Yeah, we were talking on
FaceTime.
FaceTime. It's always good to see the person on
Yes.
some form before you meet them.
Uh-huh. Did
So-
you liked what you saw?
I liked what I saw.
We did a little
You were real.
FaceTime
It
cooking.
wasn't catfish.
I did not catfish you.
You must have been the one cooking.
Yes.
So yeah, I then drove there and I misread the ferry times. So I came.
And it's hard because there's the ferry that leaves Cherry Grove and the ferry that leaves Sayville.
Yes.
Two sides.
So I picked the wrong one
Uh-huh.
and I got there and it was gone.
And in
then
early May, there's only 2 ferries.
two ferries.
A day.
I would have had to wait 4 hours. And by that point, it would have been too late to come back if you were awful.
Correct. And I strategically wanted you to take the first ferry because if you were awful, then you could go home on the 5 o'clock ferry.
Yes.
It was an 11 o'clock and a 5 o'clock. And I was like, that's enough time
Yes.
to know.
Exactly.
But you missed it.
I missed it. And I sat there and I thought, I have to meet this guy. So I went and I begged them to charter my own ferry
Mhm.
to come meet you. And they luckily let me do it.
And for those who don't know, this is a boat for 400 people.
Yes.
It's not a small little boat.
And a la Barbara Streisand,
Uh-huh.
I was sitting there with my bags, ready to not rain on a parade.
No, but I think you
wanted
had a
the
big
parade.
hat. I think you had a
I
big
had a
hat.
big hat because I was worried about sun. This is
Mhm.
very pale skin.
Yeah.
So I was nervous about that. But I got on the boat. They were like, don't you want to sit up top? Don't you want to join? I was like, no, I'll sit below.
Because you had the whole thing by yourself.
whole thing.
There was you and like 3 or 4 crew members.
Yes. And so I sat on the bottom and when we got there, the doors opened and you were laughing at me with Sadie and Sausage, our dogs. And you've been laughing at me ever since.
I
but
wasn't
I always say.
laughing. I
You
was
were
sort of-
shaking
I was
your head.
I was guilty. I was shaking my head
Mhm.
because you said, I'll take care of it. And that also turned me on because usually in a relationship, when you say you're an event planner or a wedding planner, people run. They're like, I'm not into that. Or they want you to plan everything. So when you miss the boat and then you're like, I'll be there in 30 minutes, I'll figure it out. I was like, oh, he's a doer. He's a go-getter. He's a figure it outer.
Or I just tend to be late and have learned I need to fix things. So
yeah, I like my narrative.
I end up in these situations a lot. So you got to know how to fix things.
You're a fixer.
Yeah.
So you fixed it. And then literally the massive ferry pulled up. And it's early season. So all the people that are living there are like, who is coming? And it's COVID. So they're skeptical. And this massive boat, out you come with a big hat, like
later
Rose
when the
from
neighbors,
Titanic.
Later when the neighbors said we thought it was Liza Minnelli or Alan Cumming. I loved that.
You love that.
I should have worn huge glasses and had paparazzi follow me, like faux paparazzi.
You know what? You could do it all over again for the Lifetime movie.
I could. I think they know who I am now. But when they didn't, that would have been fun.
It would have been amazing. So I was standing on the dock. I was shaking my head. I had the dogs. And I have been shaking my head ever since. But also, it was so amazing. So you came off. You were very handsome in person, as you were.
So were you.
Thank you. On FaceTime. And we went on our first date, which was to the Sunken Forest in Fire Island.
Beautiful place.
For those who don't know, it's the only forest in America that goes below sea level, which is why it's called the Sunken Forest. And it's a beautiful wooden path through like a few miles of nature.
Yes.
And I thought, you know what? Let's go for a walk.
Yeah, and you didn't take me to the meat rack, so that was romantic.
I did not. I wanted to keep it romantic. For those who know, you know. So
we went kind of disappointed. Been a while. It was COVID.
Oh my gosh. You were disappointed. I was disappointed. On our first date, it had been a while for me, and I was so excited to meet you. And I had planned where we would have our first kiss. And it was at the viewpoint in the Sunken Forest. You walk like a mile, and then there's this beautiful bluff. And at the top of the bluff, you have a sweeping view of the ocean. Just you, just me.
Yes.
That's where I wanted to have our first kiss.
Yes.
Except...
well, I didn't know that you had planned this.
Of course not.
But there were a few park rangers there.
Lonely park rangers.
I don't think they'd seen anyone in months.
Yes.
And they had a lot to tell me. And I am a people pleaser. So
literally.
I sat and listened to all they had to show. They were showing me fossils.
It was literally
like deer fossils.
You are the nicest person in the world, and you are so kind to everyone in front of you, which is a characteristic I admire about you. But
sounds like you don't.
In that moment, I was so annoyed because I just wanted to make out with you. And
well, I don't know what to say, honey. We're gonna make out in front of the park rangers. They weren't moving, so either talk to them or stare at them.
I tried to get them to move along, and you kept asking more questions. And I don't even think you remember.
They were loving answering them.
They were. They hadn't seen people in months. Kyle's a very generous soul. They were like, do you want to learn about the deer of Fire Island? And I was like, no, thank you. And you were like, absolutely. And for like 45 minutes, we learned about the deer of Fire Island.
We did kiss at the end of 45 minutes. So all good things are worth
Eventually,
waiting for.
they like didn't know where to go. And I was like, you guys can go now.
You can just leave.
Because I still wanted to have our first kiss on that spot. So anyways.
Now I'm happy that we did that because we walk there every weekend and love remembering that.
Correct. Well, the first kiss.
The first kiss and
the Rangers.
I don't know. The Rangers get brought up every time we're there too. So we have a special spot for them too.
It's true.
We should find them and take a Christmas card with them.
I think that would be very sweet. That would be very
They could have been here with us.
You know what? They should have been here. This is sponsored by
us and the Rangers.
Sunken Forest
Even our backup
National
singers.
Park. I don't know that they could. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. This
you never
is
know until you audition.
Us and them. Oh my God, I cannot with you. Okay, so we hit it off. You stayed the night. You spent the weekend. I know that I was sort of like, wow, this is amazing. Someone that I like, that I'm very inspired by, took a boat to meet me. We have a connection. You stayed the night, and then you sort of kept coming out to Fire Island, not being gay. And that was the beginning of our relationship.
Yes, it was. It was great. It was literally, especially after COVID, to have something so awful happen in the world and something so beautiful come of it.
Yeah.
I now look at COVID and have so many wonderful memories. And it was when my life really started with you. And so I'm so thankful to have had that slowdown and that moment to find each other.
Yeah, I don't think we would have if not for COVID.
No.
Because you would have been in Asia or Europe? For work, I think you would have been abroad.
Yeah.
And I would have been in Italy. And we never probably would have swiped.
No.
And because we're both a little cheap we didn't have premium Tinder. So it thought we were both in Brooklyn.
I had to think about it. I was like, I didn't have
so
premium?
I knew you were
hate that
I
you're
knew
saying
you were
I didn't
feeling
have
that
premium.
out loud. No, basically when it's free, it swipes.
I didn't need premium.
Where your
they found
home,
me.
Oh my God. It swipes where your home is, and your home is Brooklyn and my home is Brooklyn. If we both had premium, it would have put me on Fire Island and you in Connecticut, and we would not have matched.
Oh yeah, I didn't have premium then.
I know.
Because I think I was only with Brooklyn people.
Correct. Oh, there were others?
No. I just meant only when I was swiping did I see
were all
Brooklyn people.
Yes. Okay. So we had our first date. It was amazing. It's been 4.5 years.
Yeah, 4.5 years, which is crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's like time is flying by.
Yeah.
And then recently we had an amazing, you proposed to me.
Yes. Christmas
of this past year.
Yeah.
You took me by complete surprise.
Yes.
When did you decide you wanted to do that?
I know that I was waiting for you to do it.
Say more.
And I had been waiting for a while.
When did you know you wanted to be married to me?
After 1.5 years.
Okay, so 1.5 years in.
1.5 years in, I was ready.
I'm not surprised because you did definitely say to me,
yeah.
When are we doing this?
I was like, when are we doing this? Like, what's the plan? Like, want to map this out? And you were like, things are great as they are. I was like, yeah, they are, but they'd be better if we were just married. Gotta lock this stuff down.
Yeah.
So I was like, ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, after 1.5 years, then it became another year went by. 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Then 3.5 years. And I think at 3.5, I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to do this myself. And I actually got really excited because I talked to your best friend, Rachel, and she was like, how special would it be if you plan this for him, the person who plans things for everyone else?
And I assumed I was going to do it for you. I never thought you were going to do it. I always thought
this assumption,
I always thought it was going to be me as the planner. But also because you told me, you spelled out exactly what you wanted on like our third date.
I wanted to be proposed to in the peasant village of Versailles. And then as we walked up to the Grand Trianon, all of our family and friends would be there waiting to celebrate with us.
Correct.
Now, just to be clear, this is a dream I told you that I never thought would become a reality.
Why would you tell me?
The fact that you said it took you longer to propose because you'd have to figure that out.
Yes.
No, that's ridiculous. That's a wild dream.
What else would I do? Anything else wouldn't feel right if you told me what your dream was, that I was going to make it come true.
Honey, I would have been happy if you rolled over in the bed and gave me a ring, especially by the time we had gotten to.
That is not true.
It is.
You swear on your mother's, I mean, I don't want to say that because she's alive.
That's dark.
You know what I mean though?
Yes.
Like you really, that would have been
I do swear.
Thrilled for you. You would have been excited about that.
Yes. Are you not listening to me?
I am listening to you. I guess I had it in my head that you really, that's the proposal you wanted, and I wanted to give that to you.
That was just a fun idea. I didn't think that would actually happen.
You gave me specific details on multiple occasions.
Okay.
So all that to say, I had started to slowly marinate on it and figure out, how do I do this logistically? We do love to go to Paris, but how do I get you to Versailles without you knowing it's coming?
Okay, well, obviously, I ruined my own proposal by making something so difficult he couldn't do it. But
you did set the bar very high. Very high.
But anyways, after I talked to Rachel, I did feel like it would be special, and I was really excited to do that for you. And it became really, I was energized by it. I was excited, and I couldn't wait to do it. So we were planning a trip already to be in Palm Springs with both of our families meeting for the first time.
Very first time.
I
was very nervous.
Yes, Jove was very nervous.
Because you just never know. Like family.
You never know.
I'll be very candid. Your family I was not worried about.
Yeah.
Your family's easy. They're chill. They're reasonable. They're kind.
Perfect.
They're great. My family is lovely. They're my family. I love them. But a little unpredictable and potentially chaotic. So who knows what could have happened.
Yes.
The very first time. And also we were all living in a house together for a week.
Okay, well, you thought about this a lot more than I did.
Yeah,
I didn't
was
think
very
about
nervous.
it at all.
No, well, that's very true of you and me.
I just thought,
go with
okay,
it.
well, I'll be there. Sounds like the time to propose.
Yes.
So I started calling friends of yours. I called Jesse Toombs, your friend, and said, where's the best place to propose? Since he's a wedding planner I know that you admire very much.
Yep.
He said, you have to do it at Caracalla. So I was like, okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
I called Amber. She got me this amazing florist. All of a sudden, I had a chef. It was just, I couldn't believe what was happening. I was picking out plates. It all became this huge ordeal. I was so scared that
a big deal. A huge deal.
An event.
She's an event planner.
Kyle Torrence Events. Coming 2025.com. Yeah. Weddings-ish with Kyle.
Oh, Lord. Already replacing me.
So, yeah, I was so excited doing it all. I really was so nervous you were going to find out, which is crazy because I told everyone.
Literally everyone?
Everyone.
It's classic you, but
anyone I saw, I told. I just was like, don't tell Joe. I was just so nervous that you'd find out, but no one told you.
No, well, one person. Remember?
Oh, the fear, but they didn't tell you.
They didn't tell me. So my uncle, the day before we flew to Palm Springs,
yes.
I was walking the dogs. It's like midnight. It's raining. Nobody's happy. And my uncle calls me.
Nobody's happy.
Well, you know what I mean. Midnight in the rain.
New York in the rain.
It's just, let's set the tone.
Yeah.
Sadie hates the rain. I don't like the rain. They're pulling in two directions. They're barking. Yeah. My uncle calls and I picked up because I thought something bad happened because he does not call me really at all. So initially that's what I thought. So I answered and he said, congratulations. And I was like.
No, he left a voicemail.
He left a voicemail.
So we were in bed together. Your uncle left a voicemail.
Yes.
And it said, congratulations, Jove.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah.
So Jove looked at me and he was like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, what is the congratulations for? So I sit and I text your brother Eris and I'm like, get the.
You can cuss.
Yeah. Well, I was trying, what did I say? I said, your fucking dad must have told your uncle.
Yes.
Call him right now and fix this ASAP. So then your uncle called again.
Yes.
And then he said, congratulations on
Rachel Ray. Yeah.
Which was canceled by that point.
It was canceled at that point. The show had been canceled.
It made no sense that he would call, but you were like, oh, my crazy uncle. I'm texting. I'm like, oh my God, we made it through that. Tell your father to not talk to anyone else.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I hadn't told them.
Yeah.
But I had to tell them because getting them there was.
Yes, to ensure they were going to come.
To ensure they were going to come.
Yes, because it's an important event and that raised the stakes.
Yes.
So that was the only thing, but I didn't really cross my mind because it's my family.
Yes.
And I just thought like, we're going to meet our families for the first time. Like, obviously, I've met your parents, you've met my parents, but they had not met each other. And so that was my whole focus, was like how that was going to go.
Yes.
So when you decided you were going to do it, what month was that? Because it happened in December.
If it happened in December.
Like summer, June?
Yeah, I think maybe like August, July, August.
Like a year ago.
Talking to everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about. I started talking to everyone and it happened, by December. But July, August, definitely it started. I had to have the ring.
Did the ring come first or did that come after?
The ring came first because Allie was in Australia. Our friend Allie. Allie's our friend, an amazing stylist.
Yeah.
And I loved this designer, Seb Brown. And she happened the day I called her to say I wanted to propose and I wanted to get a Seb Brown ring. She was in Melbourne, down the street from his store. And within 2 days, I had picked out the ring.
Which is wild.
He said, I have this special ring in the back that has like star and moon and different shapes and colors. And I think it'd be perfect for like a queer couple. And I love it so much. And he like, let me pull it out. I looked at it and I said, that's it.
Oh,
it's
right away.
Beautiful. There was an individuality to it that reminded me of you. Bright, colorful, fun, full of life, just like you. So I just needed it right away. So I got it. And I just couldn't believe it happened so fast. Then I was like,
then it's real.
When it happened, I was like, now I have to plan this because it was kind of fun, like in make-believe land.
Of course.
I was like, maybe it'll happen in December.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll happen
you love to
next
talk
February.
About things,
yeah, I was like,
now you
maybe he'll propose before this comes to fruition and everyone can say Kyle wanted to propose. You know, like that was in the back of my head.
Okay.
But then I had the ring, so I was like,
I have to do this.
Now I have to do this.
Yeah.
So then right away I got on it and all of that happened. And then the most stressful part was carrying this ring to Palm Springs and having it with me in the airport.
Yeah.
Like that was so nerve-wracking. Like just thinking of you finding it was so.
In any way.
So
I didn't
scary.
pick up on any of that. So you did really good with all of that.
Yeah.
I really had no idea. Like, and I'm not easily surprised because I'm a control freak and I like to know everything and I like to, you know. So
I'm not saying anything.
I was totally shocked. The only part of the story that I think is funny and stressful is the morning of. So like after Christmas morning, everyone was supposed to go home.
Yes.
So my parents and brother were like, kissed me goodbye. They left.
Yes.
And for Christmas, your parents had given us.
Well, your parents were a little awkward in the morning.
Yeah, I was going to get there.
Okay.
It was very awkward. But the cover for the proposal was that your parents had given us a really beautiful brunch in Palm Springs as a gift.
Yes.
So I was like, that's great. Where's the restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody could really answer. And I was like,
well, because I didn't want you to Google it and then you'd see there wasn't a restaurant. You would have known there was something.
For sure.
You Google that your menu before we go anywhere.
I know. I'm very specific. And I know Palm Springs.
Control freak.
Should we unpack that now or later?
No, we can do it later.
So I was sort of like, well, that's weird that they're foodies and they love a good meal, that they wouldn't tell me like where it was.
Yeah.
But also I was deathly ill. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me, but my parents left. You told them to leave by like 9 a.m. or something. So they
let's
got
be
up
honest.
at
Our parents
7.
had met for the first time. You were exhausted.
I was exhausted. My dad and stepmom and brother left awkwardly, like right on the schedule when you told them to. But before that, yeah, they were like milling around the house.
Well, yes, I told them to please leave. I think it was at like 11. Well, they were up at 7, packed the car, and then just sat and waited till 11.
Right until like 10:59. Then they're
Jove was like, why? This is weird. Like usually they would just leave early.
They would leave.
Which they wanted to do.
Correct.
But I didn't know where they could go.
In between.
Yeah, and no one really wanted anyone extra at the venue because they were trying to set up for everything.
No, it all makes sense now that I know. But I was like, why is everyone being weird?
I know. I walked in, I was like, you guys just kind of maybe make breakfast or take a walk.
They don't know how to do any of that.
No.
So it was a little awkward, but I was also like, that's my family. It's the last day. And then I was deathly ill and I laid in bed and my family left. And I was like, babe, why don't you go to brunch with your family?
Yes.
And I'll catch up at dinner.
And I was like, no, my parents have spent a lot of money, my parents, on this beautiful engagement. So you have to come now.
Yeah. Well, you didn't say engagement, on this beautiful brunch, this Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
my parents spent a lot on this brunch. So you have to come.
And I was like, I know, I feel really bad. I'm going to sleep and I'll make it to dinner.
And I'm dying because I'm like, I don't know what to do. He doesn't want to come.
Yeah.
He's exhausted. He was like, I'm really tired, babe.
I really
need this moment. And I was like, no. And then I'm putting on a tuxedo jacket and jeans.
I know. And
I was like, you have to dress up.
Well, I said, do I even have to shower? Like, can I just lay in bed?
I was like, no, please shower.
So I showered and then I was like, I'm going to wear shorts and a t-shirt.
No.
And you were not.
This was horrible.
But you were chill, Kyle. Given all that was happening, I was surprised.
I was chill. My parents were less chill. They were like in their Sunday best.
Yeah.
Everyone made it look like we were going to this major occasion.
Yeah. When you say Sunday best, I just have a visual of your father literally wearing like a button-up shirt and a tie.
Yes.
And your mom in like a beautiful dress. And we had just spent 5 days in like bathing suits, shorts, and t-shirts.
And we went to nice places and we didn't really dress up as much as this.
And we never dressed up. So they were like, yeah, it's for this really amazing brunch restaurant that no one would tell me where. And everyone's dressed to the nines. And I'm like, what's going on? But I was so sick that I didn't really know.
Yeah.
So then you made me shower. You made me put on clothes.
And I'm like stressing. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I don't know. Is he going to know? How do I act? Do I act chill? Do I act crazy? I mean, I feel like acting chill was even kind of like, I'm like, is he going to think it's weird that I'm
crazy
so calm?
That you were so chill?
Yes,
100%.
Exactly.
So you got me dressed and then you called a car.
Yes.
And you still wouldn't tell me where we were going. And I was getting very annoyed.
No, and I kept saying how nice the place was.
Correct.
But Jove's family, your family had parked in the front of the Caracas. So we had to enter from the dirt road in the back so you wouldn't see that everyone was there already.
Yeah, so you planned a beautiful surprise.
Even when I tell you now, I get nervous thinking I'm telling you something.
Then I do.
Like I just got nervous saying, I was like, oh, did I just ruin the
surprise?
Proposal? Like I already proposed and I'm still nervous about it.
So we get in the car and it was the most awkward 3 minutes of our relationship.
Wait, awkward's the wrong word. It was sweet.
In the car?
Looking
you were
back?
Quiet. You were shaking.
Yes,
and you didn't say a word, which is just not who you are, not who we are.
Well, all of a sudden, it was the biggest thing I'd ever done.
Of course. And the rings in your... I didn't know any of this, obviously. I think we're just going to brunch and everyone's overdressed, but here we are. I'm going to do it, you know? And then we're going to the nicest restaurant in Palm Springs.
That you've never heard of.
That I've never heard of and you won't tell me. And then we pull up on this dirt road to this metal gate. And I'm looking around like, is this safe? And where are we? And I'm probably being a little bitchy and you're obviously not having it. And then we get out and your whole body starts to shake.
Yes, that was, I have to say, and I've performed for years. I've been public speaking at things. I've never been as nervous as the day I proposed to you. I don't know what happened. I get like sentimental thinking about it. I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's that little feeling when you propose to someone that I think is like, what if they say no? I knew you would say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I didn't fully. There was
99.9%
something in me that was so scared. Like
Sure.
even thinking about it, and even when I talk to other people about their proposal stories, I think everyone has that. It's really, you're putting yourself
the stakes
so
are high.
out there.
You're most vulnerable.
And I had invited a lot of your friends and our mutual friends.
Yeah.
And
You planned a lot.
family. There were 30 people there, and I was like,
yeah.
How embarrassing would it be if he said no?
Yes.
And then he thinks we're alone because I proposed to you.
Well, when I get out,
alone.
You're fully shaking, and then
Yes.
you're like, we're walking to the restaurant. That again, I'm like, a dirt road and a chain link fence. Like, what's happening?
Yes.
Which you explained was the back entrance because my dad's car, which is branded,
taking it in the back.
Since 1980.
That was just.
So my dad's work
Sorry,
truck
Mom.
had to be parked in the front, so we couldn't enter from the front. So you
Yes.
entered from the back.
And always blaming Dad for it.
It's genetic. So anyways, that's why it was not so cute from the back. So we
Yes.
get there, your full body shaking. There's this gorgeous area of trees with an open spot in the middle.
Mhm.
And you're like, will you come here with me?
Yes, I didn't really know what, at that point, my dream was I wanted to propose to you one-on-one and have that moment to be
Which
just
you did.
us. That
Yes,
we'll always
which was
remember.
beautiful.
And then walk in to celebrate.
Yes.
Once we were walking, I all of a sudden realized I don't know how to get us to the spot not
In the
awkwardly.
middle. Yes.
Yeah, like,
you got a little awkward.
because like there's obviously a door there
Yeah.
to something.
Yes.
And now I'm just
And we're
turning
going
you
the
left
other way.
and we're standing in a dirt circle.
Correct.
Alone.
Surrounded by trees, which was
Yeah, it was
very pretty. It was
gorgeous, but
very pretty.
In the moment, it's a
For
little,
sure.
I never thought about it.
Yeah,
that
You didn't
far.
have like a pre-plan.
No.
So you were fully shaking. And I kind of put two and two together. Like
Yes.
I was like, oh shit. What am I wearing? What's going on?
What am I wearing? How do I look?
Is he really doing this? Like, no
Yes.
way. Like, I'm supposed to do this. Would he do this? Like, all those things. And then you.
And while you're doing that, I had all of these things I wanted to say, like a lot of things I want to say about our life.
Like,
and how
did you
much
write
mean
something
to
out?
me. Yeah, ChatGPT. No, I'm just kidding. I did write something out myself. I had all these
Yeah.
ideas. And again, as you know, I was so nervous that
Yeah.
all I could do was, I don't even really know if I said the full sentence. I was just like,
You barely
I
got a
want to
sentence out.
spend the rest of my life with you. Will you? Marry
I love
me?
you. Will you marry
Well,
me?
yeah, I
like,
love you.
That
Will you
was
marry
it.
me?
It was like short and sweet.
And I could barely get that out. It's
And-
amazing I didn't just bend down, put a ring up, and cry.
It was a little more than that. But you were there. But when you got down on one knee, you put your knee in a pile of mud.
Yes,
Like-
the
the
one
one
little
spot.
area of mud, and I go right in it.
Right in it.
And I felt it. I had like a wet knee while I was there, and I was like, here we are.
I died.
Here we are.
And so you get down on one knee. I'm realizing what's happening very clearly. And
Yes.
then Amber,
Well, I hope you realized once I'm on a knee giving you a ring.
Amber, our friend and an amazing photographer, pops out. And then I was like, oh, this is like a thing.
Yeah.
And you were still shaking. I said yes. And then you got up and kissed me, but you had forgot to do the ring.
Yeah.
So
No, I pulled the ring out, proposed with the ring.
yes.
But then thought I have to get back down on my knee to put the ring on your finger.
Yeah.
I got a little confused on
Up, down, up, down.
I should have just stayed up and put the ring on your finger.
Standing. But you
But
went back down.
in the movies, in
Yeah.
the Disney
There's
whole
no
thing.
wrong way to
yeah, I
do
just
it.
felt like I had to be on my knee for the whole thing, but I
Yeah.
got up and then I went down.
Yeah.
It was a little like
It was classic Kyle.
Acrobatic.
It was very adorable. It was very
yeah,
sweet.
up, down, stress.
And I was blinded. I mean,
Yeah, girl.
when
that's
the
some
sun
bling.
hit this ring,
Mhm.
let's get a close up here. Like this gorgeous ring in the sun of Palm Springs, like
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Literally, whoa. Like,
Yeah.
bling, you're on a knee. This is happening. This is not what I thought was going to happen. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I can't believe it's happening. I'm so excited it's happening. What is happening?
Ugh.
And then I said yes. And then,
goodness.
yes, you gave me the ring. And then the gate opened, and some of our friends and family were there to
Yes.
celebrate. And it was just the most amazing day.
Yeah, it was really, really special.
It was really, really so sweet. And the dogs couldn't be there, but your mom made printout framed pictures of the dogs.
That said, just married with little
yeah, literally you
bandanas.
worked with her and the groomer. And when you took them to the groomer, you snuck the bandanas in for photos. I mean, just all these very
little
sweet touches.
That was really special.
We're just so kind of you. And I just can't believe you did it.
I can't believe it either.
It was really amazing.
We had all your favorite brunch foods. We ate there, and it did give me a taste of the wedding day, though, because I was so overwhelmed with planning the rundown of what was going on during that whole proposal that I feel like I missed some of it, too, because it was like…
You were focused on the event itself.
And remember, I took you to take pictures like really abruptly.
You sure did. Oh, yeah.
You became a planner.
And a little bit aggressive. You were like, Jove, thank you for saying yes. There's a schedule. We have Amber. We have family. We have friends. We're going here. There's 6 locations. Are you ready? And I was like, whoa, can I just like… We're different. I need to like take everything in. And you
and I just
hit
keep
the ground
going.
running.
Yeah,
you
pedal
just
to the
go.
metal.
So yes, Amber luckily was… I've worked with her for years. I love her. I adore her. So I was very comfortable with her bossing me around. But you became a little diva wedding planner right away.
If I could go back, I would have softened myself a little bit.
Oh, I like
that. But I really wanted to hit my marks.
You hit it. You hit all the marks.
Yeah.
We got all the photos. It was amazing. Everything was perfect. And I really just felt like totally honored and special that you did all of that for me. I never anticipated it would happen. So, and the fact that you did it, and that we found each other and that we found love, like that really, all of that wasn't lost on me.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I really kept thinking about Versailles and your proposal. And I just was like, I want him to feel what I felt in that moment. And so I decided I had to counter propose.
I mean, I love it.
And I just,
I would say no to that.
I mean, I guess, and so it was a little easier for me because obviously I don't think you were expecting it. You told me exactly.
I was expecting my ring though.
Yes, you told me, I think the day of our engagement, you told me the ring you wanted from the same designer.
Yep.
You sent me the link and you said, buy it.
Yep, I wanted it right away.
I want it right away.
The only thing that stinks, people, about proposing is that you don't get a ring that day. I wanted to buy myself one and then Venmo you for it later, obviously. Not buying two.
But you did not. You did not.
I didn't. I had restraint, which is rare.
And big of you.
Yeah, very big of me. But the whole night I'm just, everyone's like, oh, you're engaged. And I just have nothing
empty
on my fingers. I'm like, am I?
Oh, Lord. And you kept saying that.
Men were still coming up to me and I was like, am I single?
Should I reinstall Tinder? Check our chats?
Who did say hi first?
So you were really keen on getting the ring ASAP. So I did place the order right away, which was easy for me because you knew what you wanted, which is the same designer, same material, but different design.
Yeah.
And it's in Australia. I think it was 3 to 4 weeks.
Yes.
Something like that.
And I knew that.
Yeah. You had checked. You knew it was in stock and you knew when you would get it, which I didn't know fully that you had gone
that deep.
So deep. So I'm thinking, okay, so I have 4 weeks to plan something, maybe 6 because I can get in the world of like shipping, I realized pretty quickly I couldn't do something in 4 weeks around the holidays, Christmas, New Year's Eve.
A lot was happening.
A lot was going on and I just couldn't do it that quickly. I definitely couldn't do Versailles in 4 weeks, even though I did call your boss.
I never needed Versailles. I just want that to be clear and go on the books on this podcast.
But you wanted it.
I loved telling the story of it.
And you would you have said no or been angry had it happened in Versailles?
How would you have walked me into the peasant village without me knowing this was happening?
How would I have driven you to I had a plan, which is for a whole other podcast that I did talk with some people about. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I decided I wanted you to have something as amazing as I had. So what could that be? I know that Valentine's Day was coming up and you told me you just wanted the ring. You said actually explicitly, do not propose to me in a big way. Like just give me my ring. And so on Valentine's Day, we're upstate at Deer Mountain Inn, like
so
beautiful food and beverage.
Wonderful dinner.
And the dinner took a turn at the end because I think
it was so wonderful until I didn't get my ring.
You thought the ring was coming.
So all of a sudden I was sad.
Yeah, because now it's February and the ring had not come. And so you were a little bit upset.
Well, and you said I have a really amazing gift for you. And I was like, what?
Yes.
Thinking like, I know.
It's the ring. But what the gift
you were
was.
like, I'm taking you to the opera. And I was like, okay.
But it's your favorite place in the world. So I thought that was going to get you going.
And I take myself there
all the time. So
I
I thought in my mind, it's Valentine's Day. We have this amazing tasting dinner that I'm going to say for Valentine's Day, I got you the gift. We're going to go to the opera. We're going to have dinner at the restaurant there, which I love doing. And we're going to have a private tour before.
Yep.
And it's going to be really amazing.
Yeah.
And all of that is true.
All is amazing.
You just wanted a ring.
I just wanted a ring.
And so the ring didn't come and my gift didn't land the way I hoped it would have landed. Yes. So, but unbeknownst to you, I was planning on the back end. My friend Melanie works at the Metropolitan Opera.
Yes, we love you, Melanie.
We love you, Melanie. And she literally said, I called her and I was like, it's Kyle's favorite place in the world. Is there any way I could counter propose to Kyle at the Metropolitan Opera? And she was like, well, let me see what I can do. There happened to be some things going on in the works that she was able to make it happen on one specific date, one show, one time, Romeo and Juliet. So I made it happen. We booked the tickets to the show.
Singer, Nadine Sierra.
Yes, which I tried so hard to get a private performance from her.
That would have been wild.
I know. I tried though.
I love it's so sweet that you tried it. Just even I can even imagine it and I've experienced the grandeur.
I was gonna get down on one knee on the stage. And then she was going to start an aria.
That is so crazy.
That was the original vision.
Could we be gayer?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and. So she was not available to do a private performance before a public performance. But I tried. I tried really hard. Anyways, so I thought, okay, we'll do this private tour. I'll propose.
Yes.
And then your family and some friends that weren't in California would pop out and surprise you.
Totally.
We'd have dinner at the restaurant and then go see Romeo and Juliet. Like, how romantic.
All of it's romantic.
And that was the plan. And so I was super excited and I decided I needed to wear something really gorgeous.
This is where things take a turn.
This is where things took a turn and I learned my lesson the hard way. So I decided to talk to my friend Jackson Wiederhoff, the designer. And I said, I'm proposing to Kyle at the Metropolitan Opera. And I think I need something fitting for that moment.
Yeah.
And in my mind, to be fair, you always wear a suit or a tux, gorgeous, every time you go. You always dress to the nines. So I wasn't really worried about you.
You definitely weren't worried about me.
I wanted to wear something that would match your level of chicness because I don't really own a black tuxedo. That's like not, I don't own any black, but I wanted it to be chic.
Yes.
So he's like, no problem, I'll help you out. I didn't really realize that like ostrich feather pants and a black satin shirt.
I would like to tell this part. So I come home to go to my Valentine's Day present, which is Romeo and Juliet.
And you're running a little bit late.
I'm running late. I'm coming from work.
You're a little stressed.
I'm a little stressed. I have like maybe 10 minutes to get ready.
I'm really stressed because we have no margin for error here. We have to be at the stage door at a certain time so you don't see your friends and family at the public door.
Yes. So that was all happening. But I run into the house. I'm kind of thinking like, what do I even have that's dry cleaned? I didn't have time to think of an outfit.
We did talk about it before. I just don't think when you got home, what you wanted to wear was where you thought it was.
Exactly. So I walk inside and Jove is wearing these ostrich pants, this beautiful top with this pin. And
a question mark brooch.
Question mark brooch, which shocking. I didn't notice that. I was too obsessed with the pants that I didn't know there was a question mark brooch.
A pop the question brooch, have you?
I said, what's going on here? And he said, I was dropped off by Jackson, a special look from the runway. And I said, interesting.
Because.
No, let me finish. Interesting, because if this is my special night for Valentine's Day and my big treat, maybe you could have asked him for 2 looks. Or maybe 1 look for
you.
Moi.
Okay.
So it was quite confusing when you were in something over the top and you had full face makeup on.
Correct.
Yes, just to be clear. I'm coming
and there was
in,
a fur jacket hanging.
schlepping from work, thinking I'll wear like a black trouser, button up, whatever I throw on won't matter.
Yeah.
So this caused me to go into a panic about what am I going to wear to match
Ladies
this
and
level
gentlemen,
of dress.
she spiraled.
I already have trouble dressing. It's like, I love my closet. I love my clothes. What am I going to wear? I talk to them.
Making a decision is hard
yeah,
for you.
very hard for me. Things end up everywhere. It's a hurricane. It's a hurricane.
Yeah.
So now I'm stressed. I'm angry with Jove.
Well, but what I told
you also then said
was it's because we have to take a photo for 40 under
yes.
40 under Friday
because
under 40.
That helped. Now not only are you in like couture, I am having to take a photo that I never knew about with a professional photographer at the Met.
Yes.
Now this raises the stakes for the outfit. And I have to figure this out in like 10 minutes.
I was unaware that the stakes were so high for this event, that this is like a big deal event. I thought I needed a cover for why I'm dressed head to toe designer.
I just think even if you weren't going to help me with my own look, you could have prepped me that you were wearing a designer look and maybe said a week before.
You're right.
We're going to have our photograph taken. I'm doing a partnership.
Let's dress to the nines.
There were like some other things I think.
was nervous.
Anyways,
Clearly.
We can move past this because.
Can we officially?
Don't know. But I luckily had a black suit that I found that had just been dry cleaned that worked perfectly.
Well, for the record, I called the dry cleaner and they delivered it.
That's not true.
Babe.
What?
Yes.
That day or while I was dressing?
While you were dressing and stressing.
Oh, that's true.
I was like,
you to.
I need to solve this.
I told you to, didn't I?
You're like, it's not here. I'm like, well, it's here or it's at the dry cleaner.
Yes.
And we need to sort it out.
That did happen.
6 minutes.
So that was romance.
Yes.
So we got the suit.
And you looked gorgeous.
Thank you, babe. You looked already gorgeous. I just had to match what you had already started.
So we get in the car.
So we're dressed. And I will say, I didn't think I was being proposed to, but as I was in the closet and not being
in our clothing closet,
best fiancé of all time, I thought he's doing a really nice thing for you, Kyle. He's taking you to the opera. He loves you. So he's dressed up and had a special designer outfit.
Maybe he looks a little better than you for once.
That's okay. Just be kind. And so I did.
Honey.
I think I said a lot of things like, just so you know, I love you. I'm annoyed, but I love you.
Yeah, you said them in that tone, which wasn't really helpful for me in the moment because I had a ring in my pocket now, which I thought these pants would be great because you couldn't see the ring.
Who knew you were listening to Esther Perel today?
Oh my God, I love her. She's the best. So anyways, we're in the car on the way there.
Yes.
And we go to check in and everything was organized by the second. And the security guard was like, you're not on the list. And then he almost said, I watched him almost say, are you here for the proposal? And luckily, like Melanie, our friend, I think came out at that time and like let us in.
I didn't even notice that.
So that didn't happen. I think, yeah. So anyways, I was so nervous. We do the backstage tour. It's really gorgeous. And what you didn't know also is that we had the incredible Corbin Gherkin, a photographer, who was going to be there. Originally, she was going to be the assistant tour guide.
Which I freaked out when I found that out.
She was originally going to be the assistant tour guide following us around so she could get the perfect shot.
Yeah.
But we found the most amazing shot, the best location, the opposite angle of the lobby from behind, where she was hiding, your parents, our friends were hiding, and we finished the tour, and I give the tour guide, who wasn't even a tour guide, which I love. He did an amazing job. I give him my phone, and I'm like, babe, this is the picture we have to take to post for Friday Under 40.
Yes.
And you were like, fine. And you were working it. You were posing. You were feeling great. That video's on Instagram.
Put my purse down.
You put your purse down, Prada on the floor.
Yep.
And then I got down on one knee.
Yeah.
But you, at that point,
I wasn't shocked.
Yeah.
Being the peacock pants, and then all of a sudden I felt like we're taking this dramatic picture.
And no one was around.
No one was around.
I got them at private for 26 minutes.
Yes. It all happened though, like, it's like right when the tour was done, we walked into that spot, I was like, I feel like something's happening.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. It was so beautiful and special and so thoughtful to do it there. And now to always, when I go to my favorite place to see opera, that we can have that memory.
Yeah.
Again, like Fire Island, they're places that we go so often that I think it's fun to have the best memory of our lives like that, to always have in those places, to make them more special. So it was really special. And then seeing my parents is always amazing and always makes me cry.
Yeah.
And then some friends that were there were so special.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful that you had taken the time to give me something as tailored to me as I hope what I did for you.
Was tailored to me, for sure.
So it was really special. And we got past the peacock pants.
But you don't want me to wear them for the wedding. I just have to be very clear.
I never want to see the peacock pants again. They don't bring me joy. I love them. They're gorgeous.
They brought me so much joy.
They're incredible, but they remind me of a moment where I was so annoyed.
You were not pretty. You were not pretty woman in that moment.
I was about to say, you were not calling me pretty?
No, you were not having a pretty woman moment where like I took you shopping and let you buy whatever you want.
No.
I understand.
No, but it was
now I know.
So beautiful. And then we had the most amazing meal.
Yes.
And then we got to go with Corbin and take pictures on the stage of the Met, which was so cool to be alone in the opera house.
Theater, empty.
Yes.
Just you and me and Corbin.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah. It was really spectacular.
To stand there with you alone was wild.
Yeah.
Like, when can people say they did that? That was so special.
I agree. And the pictures, like she did, like mind-boggling.
Yeah. That was amazing. And she was so special. And then sitting and watching the opera and seeing Nadine Sierra.
Yep. Sing Romeo and Juliet.
Oh my
The most iconic love story.
Yeah. Well,
doesn't end
hopefully
really.
ours goes differently.
Yes. I will not drink potion. Let me be very clear.
Well, if they called it a martini, I probably would.
That is true. You would have to. And I would not. And
yes.
That's a sad story too.
Oh.
Yeah. The martini did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Heard that before.
But
it was a really, really special night. I mean,
yeah.
I just think for us, and especially for us as gay people that both probably never thought that we could get married or that we could be proposed to or that we could do it so publicly and have so many people
in support
of it.
Yeah.
It really meant, I know it meant a lot to me to propose to you and to be proposed to. And I think we feel the same on that.
Yeah.
And that heaviness and that weight goes with me throughout the whole wedding process of just like, I'm happy to share these pictures a million times because if one person sees them and sees happy love between two men, that could have been us as kids. We never got to see any of that imagery.
It can be life-changing.
So all of it to say, I just would shout it to the rooftops about our love story because I want everyone to have that. And I just didn't know if I ever thought I would have that.
Yeah. Same. I mean, it wasn't the world that we grew up in.
Yeah.
It was illegal to be gay at one point in America. Then it was a mental disorder. Gay marriage was not legal. I mean, we were told we were pedophiles and we would die of AIDS. Like that was the lot we were given.
And that's what was on TV. If you watched the news, it was never.
Yeah, there were no gay, happy characters on TV, in movies, in books.
Until Mitch and Cam.
Well, there we go. Modern Family. Really just the best.
Yeah, really the best.
But there wasn't that kind of example. And so I do agree that we are sharing these photos and this story like wildfire.
Yeah.
Because we never had it.
Yes.
And how inspiring for someone or anyone to see that love is possible for you.
Yes.
You know, because I definitely didn't think it was going to be possible for me at a certain point. You know,
me
and
neither.
then we both swiped right.
Yes.
And here we are.
And it was the right choice.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. On that note, do you have any tips for anyone planning a proposal since you proposed first as a non-professional event professional?
I think that you just have to listen to your partner or know what your partner would want.
Versailles.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyways, you could have.
I still might.
And I really did think that as an event planner, doing something for you with all the stages of events for you to see that I put in the effort that you did, I think was really fun. And I think,
I mean, he picked the cutlery, the chairs, the flatware, like everything.
And that
glassware,
was what I would
tables.
do for Jove. Had I been with a partner that said like, is more of a beachy person that doesn't like to be in front of a lot of people, like rolling over on the beach in your favorite place and giving a ring is just as beautiful. It's what that person finds beautiful and where you two find joy together and the people
tailor
you're
it
with.
to your lover.
Tailor it to, oh, I love that. Tailor it to your lover.
Tailor it to your lover.
Yes, yes.
Your partner.
Yes, yes.
Your boyfriend, your girlfriend.
Yes.
Your them friend.
And then I think just don't overdress so that your partner feels less than. That's my tip.
Planning a wedding can be stressful, but Generation Tux understands. They've designed a suit and tuxedo rental process that you can complete entirely from home. It's easy, convenient, and stress-free. Forget about store visits, last-minute pickups, and ill-fitting suits. With Generation Tux, you'll choose from over 25 premium wool suits and tuxedos, customizable with hundreds of accessories and colors. Plus, you'll get free shipping and delivery 14 days before your wedding. Free replacements, prepaid returns, and amazing customer service. Visit GenerationTux.com for the perfect suit or tuxedo delivered straight to your door. We have a couple of questions before we wrap up.
Okay.
Emma Elizabeth wants to know, for both of you, favorite part of planning the proposal you did and favorite part of the proposal you received. So the favorite part you planned.
Yep.
And the favorite part you received.
Okay, the favorite part that I planned. I think that it was the flowers. It was really fun talking to the florist and going through your Instagram and finding things I loved and colors I loved. And she was so brilliant and sculptural and talked about putting
they
each
were
piece.
gorgeous.
Yeah, she was amazing.
These centerpieces were like,
and I was like, oh my God, I could do this all day, sit and talk about florals.
Kyle
it was
Torrence
so
events.
fun. When I saw the bill, I realized I'm not doing that again. But it was so fun to plan and just be with such an artist. I mean, all of these people in the wedding industry are such artists in their own right at the top of their game, doing such beautiful work. And it was so cool to work with these people and watch their gifts and how it comes to fruition. And from a drawing or a talk to reality, even the chef, like the work that he put into that was incredible. So I think that was just fun for me. And you get to see that magic all the time. But for me to see the magic come together from what was a thought and months of emails, which sometimes can get arduous and annoying.
Not your favorite thing to do.
To then have it come out and be this magical
be on the
moment.
Table.
Just happens so quick. That was my only, it's happens and then it's gone.
And then it's over.
So much work for a
hot moment.
But I think that was my favorite. And then in the one, then what was my favorite that you did
that I
for
did
me?
for you,
I think there was just a moment where I looked over and Nadine Sierra was singing and I was holding your hand and I was just so happy.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I just realized how much I loved you.
Oh.
Like I already knew, but I was like, this is forever, which is so exciting.
Yeah. Oh, babe. We're not doing this
it's
right now.
It's the sparkling water in the mug.
So my favorite part of your proposal to me, I think would be the speech you gave at the brunch.
Yes.
I think it was all the words
that I wanted to say when I proposed.
That you wanted to say when you proposed, but for the first time in your life, you were verklempt, which is like not a thing for you.
Even though I just got verklempt. So now I'm just looking like Miss Waterworks over here.
That's fine. It was very sweet because I knew where it was coming from and I knew how much it meant and I felt it. And for you to share that in front of our family and some of our friends together was just really, that was my favorite part. Of course, it was gorgeous and I loved all of that too.
Yes.
And then my favorite.
It's the words and the moments that matter.
Honestly, at the end of the day, it's about the love in the room.
Yes.
I say it all the time. I'm a designer. Do I want you to spend a lot of money on design and decor? Yes. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter one person, 20 people, 30 people, 500 people at your wedding or these moments. It's about the love in the room. And that, for me, that moment was like, the one.
Yeah.
And then my favorite moment of my proposal to you, I think probably would have been during dessert when we went back to the restaurant after intermission and we were all together.
Yes, that was so fun.
And it was done and we were happy and we were together and it was just a table full of so much love.
Yes.
And people that have loved and supported you your whole life. And we were together celebrating something so special. So I think that.
Even after, how much fun was it with our friends and my parents? And we got drinks at another bar.
Yes.
And we were I mean, it was pure.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole table was laughing. I don't know if we knew what anyone was saying, but we were hysterical.
Yeah, we had a good time.
And that was really special.
It was super fun. And we have one other question.
Okay.
From William Adwin.
Hi, William.
Did Kyle ever anticipate your re-proposal?
I don't even think I let myself anticipate it because I was waiting for it.
You were also very clear you just wanted a ring.
Yes, I just wanted my ring. But I never could have imagined how special the moment was when I got my ring. And I think that now I will stop maybe anticipating or waiting and I will just let things happen.
Wow. A new Kyle.
I mean, let's see. Let's not get crazy, but I'll try.
Let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy that you're here and I love you so much.
I love you. This was so much fun.
I can't wait to marry you.
Seeing where you go to work.
Oh my.
I can't wait to marry you too.
It's going to be so much fun. All right. Love you, babe.
Love you.
And now it's time for Ask Jove, where I answer your questions. Really, anything you want to know, go ahead and ask. I couldn't be more excited to be joined in studio with my dear friend Sloan for Ask Jove.
All right, Jove, we've got a question from Nathan in Salt Lake City.
Okay, Nathan, bring it on.
We're toying with the idea of a New Year's Eve wedding.
Fun.
What do you think?
I love it.
Me too. Fun because it gives everyone New Year's Eve plans, or selfish? Definitely not selfish.
No, I think it's the best wedding date of the year. For me, especially if you're in your early, whatever age you're in, what are you doing on New Year's Eve?
Everyone's always looking for a plan.
Everyone's always looking for a plan. Are you hosting friends at your house? Are you going to a friend's house? Are you buying tickets to a party that you hope is good, that's way overpriced? Are you going out to dinner and trying to stay up really late till midnight? Do you have kids who are sleepy? Like, I actually think New Year's Eve is like one of those holidays that is perfect for a wedding. Christmas, no. Thanksgiving, no. Halloween, if that's your thing. But if people have kids, you're competing. New Year's Eve is perfect.
Prime.
We did a New Year's Eve wedding and it was like so good. It was sad for me because I was very, very single at the time. And I remember at midnight, I looked at my assistant at the time and we just like, everyone's making out because
like
it's
clinking glasses.
all couples and like the couples making out. And I looked at her and she looked at me and I was just like, I'm like looking around like, is there a hot server?
Yeah.
Like, you want to make out with someone at midnight. But I think for the guests, it was so much fun. No one had to worry about it. You could party till 1 a.m. At midnight takes like a whole other, you do the bell, you do the whistles, you do the countdown, you do the confetti. Like, I am here for it. And I actually wanted a New Year's Eve wedding.
Oh, really? We had a New Year's Eve wedding.
You did?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So much fun.
Why am I talking? Tell me everything.
We did a morning ceremony followed by brunch.
Okay.
And then we rented out like a big bar.
Oh, you had a whole day thing.
We had a whole day thing.
Wow. So you broke it up.
We broke it up.
Okay.
And then in the evening, we rented out a place and just threw a huge rager.
Like a rager.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Did Shirley make it to the rager?
Shirley made it to both events.
Okay, Shirley.
Uh-huh.
I love Grandma. She
Listen,
made it to both parties.
She sure did. It was great.
So you loved it. You have no regrets.
No regrets at all.
And the guests loved it.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, you get to get as dressed up as you want to get dressed up.
Yep.
We were like dressed to the nines. Like, go for it.
It's New Year's
Have
Eve.
fun. Be sparkly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
I wish that, man, we both could have been New Year's Eve wedding babies. I really wanted it. And I think Kyle was very open to it. But the thing that we should talk about is the price.
It's more expensive, yes.
So 30 to 50% more expensive. So that's, to be candid, why we didn't do it. I thought like, this is perfect. He doesn't like the sun. I don't like the winter, but New Year's Eve in New York City, like
prime time.
Perfect. Like, let's do it. But we got all the invoices. And rightfully so, the staff charged us like 30 to 40% more. And then all of the vendors charge more because it's a holiday. And really, they don't want to be with you
on their holiday.
Which makes perfect sense. So you're going to have to pay a peak rate. It's not only like a peak day, peak rate, peak season, holiday, like it's all of the extra money bells and whistles. So that's why we didn't do it. So I think it's something to really think about in terms of your budget. And also, are the hotel rates higher?
Absolutely.
So in New York City, for us, all the rates, it's one of the peak seasons in our city. So the hotel rates would have been double for guests. Their travel would have been double or triple. And our bottom line would have been almost double. So at the end of the day, it was like financially not a wise call for us. But I think if budget wasn't an issue, if we had a sugar daddy, if anybody wants to sponsor my wedding, our wedding.
Kyle will be like, I'm so offended.
No, he would love it. We're always like, will you get a sugar daddy? Like, one of us has to get a sugar daddy. Like, we can't afford the life we live. So I think you should do it. I think you should totally do it, but just be aware.
Be hyper aware. There were some things that we wanted to do that we had to trim.
Yep, in order to achieve. And you have to tip everyone very well.
Yes.
because they're working on a holiday. They're also not kissing anyone at midnight. And like,
I mean, maybe they are. Maybe they are finding that hot waiter.
you know what? It wasn't me. And maybe I'm a little bit mad about that. But so yes. We both Sloan obviously supports a big fan of it. I would be a big fan for myself. I just, in general, yes. And I want to see the photos and you do the little horns and the hat.
Yes.
Like, it's just like a cherry on top, I think, to have a New Year's Eve wedding.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Do it, baby. Do it. Then you might even get free fireworks.
Yay.
Well, that's it for today. And wasn't that fun? Don't forget to send your questions. Again, any questions, send them our way to hi@jovemeyer.com and maybe I will answer them on air. If you can, send a voice memo. I love to hear your voice.
Weddings-ish.
Thank you again for listening or watching Weddings-ish with Jove. This episode is brought to you by Generation Tux, the perfect suit or tuxedo delivered straight to your door. GenerationTux.com. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also super grateful to Mel Flannery for the music on the podcast. She created, produced, and designed all of the music. And don't forget, you can watch Weddings-ish with Jove on Love Stories TV, YouTube, or streaming TV channel. Visit lovestoriestv.com/live for the list of streaming apps.
Weddings-ish.